When I was a child, two things about Bhoothakkannadi gave me chills. The scenes with snakes and this man. I remember the film as a slow, sad love story about a watch repairer in a village. I remember it made me cry. So I did what most of us do with the things we can't process. I stayed away from it. I always thought sad stories were unfair. Why would someone sit down and deliberately write something that makes people feel this terrible? But here I am, a sensitive child at heart, wearing the costume of a serious adult, slowly learning to watch cinema the way it deserves to be watched. The character of Vidyadharan is definitely one of Mammootty's most celebrated performances. But what about the craft in the screenplay? What is it about this film that keeps living in Malayali memory even today? Lohidadas says Bhoothakkannadi is about the atrocities against girls, and the film doesn't flinch from that truth. And to explore it, Lohidadas builds the story around three symbols: a snake, a gun, and a magnifying glass. So today, let's take a close look at how Lohidadas used these symbols to tell a very socially relevant story in the shell of a deeply personal character study. Mani begins the film as an anxious, tender, deeply vulnerable man. He repairs old mechanical watches in a world that has moved on to quartz. He carries a flashlight through the village in broad daylight. He loves a woman he has convinced himself he cannot fully have. And he lives under the long shadow of a childhood guilt he has never let go of. He is, in the most honest sense, a man haunted by every choice that was made for him. By the film's end, Mani has lost grip on reality entirely. He stands in front of the two people he loves the most in this world and asks, Ara. This collapse from a man clinging desperately to life to a man who is no longer recognizes it is what this film maps. And Lohidadas maps this intense emotional journey through narrative symbolism. But what is a symbol and how does it actually work in a story? John Truby puts it simply: symbols are packets of highly compressed meaning. He says, a symbol creates a resonance, like ripples in a pond every time it appears. As you repeat it, the ripples expand and reverberate in the minds of the audience, often without them even being consciously aware of it. Now, let's look at how Lohidadas does exactly that. The snake in Bhoothakkannadi carries a lifetime of meaning for Mani.
ഈ ബാലേട്ടൻ ഞങ്ങളുടെ പിള്ളേർ സെറ്റ് എല്ലാവരും ഉണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഇടവഴിയില് രണ്ട് പാമ്പുകളാണ് ചേർന്നത്. നല്ല അസല് മൂർഖൻ. ഞങ്ങള് കല്ലെടുത്ത് കയറി തുടങ്ങി. ഒന്നിന്റെ തലയ്ക്ക് എന്നെ കൊണ്ടു. സാധനം ചത്തു. എണപ്പാമ്പ് ഞങ്ങളെ നേരെ ഒരൊറ്റ വരവാ. രമേ എങ്ങനെ ഓടി രക്ഷപ്പെട്ടു എന്ന് ഈശ്വരന്മാർക്ക് മാത്രമേ.
സംഗതിയൊക്കെ നേരാ. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഇപ്പോഴും ആ പാമ്പ് പകയും കൊണ്ട് കിടക്കാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ
പകയില്ലാണ്ടിരിക്കോ? എണപ്പാമ്പിനെ കൊന്നത് അന്നേ രാമൻപിള്ളവും പറഞ്ഞു കടുങ്കയ്യാ ചെയ്തേ അനുഭവിക്കുന്നു. അനുഭവിച്ചില്ലേ?
Mani never forgot it. He grew up believing that a snake was still out there, haunting him, waiting. He believes it's the same snake that killed his wife. On the surface, this reads as superstition, a village man's irrational fear. But look at what the snake actually stands between Mani and his life. Mani loves Sarojini. He has loved her since they were children. But his father, wielding the quiet violence of caste and respectability, separated them. Mani's father had Sarojini married off to someone else, forced Mani into a marriage that made social sense to everyone except him. And when Mani's wife died, Mani did not blame his father or the society that suffocated them both. He blamed the snake.
എന്റെ ഭാര്യ വിഷം തൊട്ടത് കിണറ്റിൽ നിന്ന് വെള്ളം കോരുമ്പോഴാ. വെള്ളത്തിൽ മൂർക്കുനാണല്ലോ ഉണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ, ബക്കറ്റിൽ കയറിയതാ. അന്ന് ഈ ബാലേട്ടനൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞു നീർക്കൊല്ലി ഇട വിഷം ഉണ്ടാവില്ലെന്ന്. എന്നിട്ടോ നേരത്തോട് നേരം എന്നാ തൊട്ടടുത്തിന്റെ മോളിരുന്ന് കളിക്കുക. 2 വയസ്സാ. അവളെ കാലമ കൂടെ അഴിഞ്ഞു പോയത്. തൊട്ടില്ലല്ലോ. അതെന്താ? എന്നോടാ പക, എന്നെയാണ് ഭരിക്കണം, അത്രേ ഉള്ളൂ.
This is the real function of the snake in the film. It is a shape that all the poisons in Mani's life have taken. Caste, elitism, the stigma around love, the impossible burden of a man who must carry everything alone and never ask for help. And here is where Lohidadas gives us the film's most quietly radical subplot. Sarojini, the Pulvati. She is a professional singer who performs Pullo and Patter, a traditional ritualistic folk song form to worship serpent deities or Nagadevadas. The term Pullovati is also a caste name weaponized against her. Sarojini is a single mother. Her husband left her within a very few days after their marriage. Society judges her for it, but she doesn't care. We see Mani's own sister spits venom, calling her a seductress.
പല സേവകളുണ്ട്. സർപ്പം, നാഗേക്ഷി, ഗുളിയൻ. കണ്ടിട്ടില്ലേ അവളുടെ വീട്ടിനുമർത്ത് പാലച്ചോട്ടിൽ വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്? മണിയുടെ ഭാര്യ വിഷം തൊട്ടല്ലേ മരിച്ചത്? എങ്ങനെയാ?
അത് വെള്ളം കോരിപ്പോ ബക്കറ്റിലും തരുന്നല്ലേ?
അത് ഇവളുടെ പ്രാർത്ഥനയാ. തല തല്ലി കരഞ്ഞ് പ്രാർത്ഥിച്ചതാ. ഇപ്പൊ പിന്നെയും കീരിയെ വളഞ്ഞേക്കണ പോലെ വളഞ്ഞേക്കാ. ഇതെവിടെ ചെന്ന് അവസാനിക്കുന്നു നീ കണ്ടോ?
But Sarojini doesn't believe in being a victim of circumstances. She's unapologetic. She simply exists fiercely on her own terms. There is a scene where Sarojini breaks into Mani's house to clean it while he is in jail. While cleaning, she finds a snake resting inside, as if it has claimed the empty house for itself. She shoos it away with a simple broom. No flinching, no trembling. Just sweeps it aside and moves on. Now watch what happens next. Mani's sister storms in, furious at Sarojini for entering without permission. Here, Sarojini shoos her away in the exact same way as she did with the snake. The angry elder woman, with all her social authority, gets swept aside just like the snake did. This single parallel says everything.
ഇനിയിപ്പോ അനുവാദം ചോദിക്കാനും പറയാനൊന്നും കാക്കില്ല. ശ്രീകുട്ടിയെ വിളിച്ചോണ്ടൊന്ന് ഞങ്ങളുടെ അമ്മയും മോളും കൂടെ അങ്ങോട്ട് താമസിക്കും.
It is Sarojini and her daughter who convince Mani during one of his episodes that the snake bite he fears never even happened. They convince him that he is safe, that the fear is in his own mind. And somehow, that truth, spoken by the woman he loves with care, gives Mani just enough courage to reach for her. He embraces the darkness. He gets close to Sarojini, finally, after all these years. Mani overcame the fear for the very first time. But it is only a temporary reprieve. Because for Mani, the real danger was never the snake. The real danger walks into Mani's life in 2 legs, in human form, carrying a rifle. A drunkard hunter, a man who terrorizes everyone he comes across. Once, Mani gathers enough courage to confront him, but the moment he sees the gun, something in him seizes up. In Bhoothakkannadi, the gun is a symbol of predatory men. Men who take what they want because they hold the power to silence whatever objects. When Sarojini's teenage daughter, Minikutti, goes missing and is found dead and violated, Mani's fear changes shape. Now it is not the serpent he sees in the dark. It is men with guns circling the girls he loves. And when he tries to face that fear head on, he loses control and ends up murdering someone. Jail becomes the place where money gets stuck, like the watches he tries to repair but can't seem to fix. It's the jailer's empathy that holds him together. Sarojini's regular visits that keep him going. And this is where Lohidadas quietly makes us feel like a happy ending might actually be coming. Mani dreams of his release, of a new life, of building something quiet and whole. The three of them far away from all of this. But then Sarojini tells him that what happened to Minikutti is not a tragedy that stands alone.
ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ കാലം അറിയോ, അവിടുന്ന് ഇവിടുന്നൊക്കെ പെൺകുട്ടികളെ തട്ടിക്കൊണ്ട് പോവുകയും എന്റെ മിനിക്കുട്ടിയെ പോലെ.
To this, Mani breaks. Because the snake, for all its terror, was a known enemy. He could see it, name it, and trace it back to a single moment in his childhood. The fear of predatory men has no single origin. It has no knowable face. It wears ordinary clothes, it carries authority, it shows up even in a uniform. Mani overcame the curse of the snake with love, but he has nothing to hold against guns. The magnifying glass is a tool of precision. It takes the small and makes it large. In a world that has moved on to quartz, Mani still bends over mechanical watches with his magnifying glass. He knows the world is changing. He just can't change with it. He can't put down what he understands.
ഇങ്ങനെ പോയാൽ എങ്ങനെയാ?
എന്തേ?
പണിയില്ലെന്നേ. ഇപ്പൊ എല്ലാവർക്കും കോട്സ്. അതിങ്ങനെ കണ്ണുപൊട്ടണ തരത്തിൽ ഇറങ്ങിയില്ല ഡെയിലി. കാലം പോയ പോക്കെ. വേറെ പണിയറിയില്ല.
And so he keeps looking closer and closer at a world that keeps slipping out of focus. It is a perfect metaphor for Mani's relationship with reality itself. A mind that looks at everything through the lens of fear and unprocessed grief. A mind that, in trying to see danger, ends up distorting everything it sees. The hallucinations inside the jail is where this reaches its most devastating point. Through a hole he discovers on the prison wall, Mani watches a world outside. A blind family of singers on a hilltop and their beautiful teenage granddaughter. Then he sees a constable who enters their hut while she is alone. He watches the horror unfold. He watches the family shattered. Their lives are on fire. He sees all of this through his Bhoothakkannadi, and he can do nothing. He is totally helpless behind the wall. So he does the only thing he knows how to do. He tries to face the fear even if it destroys him. He attacks the constable in front of everyone. Mani did not witness a crime. He conjured one, assembled from every horror he had already lived through, and every horror he was sure was happening to every girl he could not reach. His Bhoothakkannadi had finally turned completely inward. What makes this moment unbearable is not that Mani is wrong about the world. He is not wrong. The world is exactly as dangerous as Mani believes it to be. His tragedy is that his mind was already breaking from the unbearable pressure of being the protector in a society that keeps creating predators.
ലെൻസ് എടുത്തിട്ട് വരാൻ പറയും സാറേ. എന്താ എല്ലാരും മേടിച്ചു നിൽക്കണേ? പോയി ലെൻസ് എടുത്തിട്ട് വാ. എന്നിട്ട് കാണാൻ രസമുള്ള കാഴ്ച എല്ലാരും കാണുക.
In the end, he could no longer hold the truth without collapsing under it.
ഇനി കാണണം. വയലൻസിലും കുറേശ്ശെ കാണാം. നോക്ക് സാറേ.
Bhoothakkannadi is not really about a broken man. It is about a man broken by very real things that we consider as normal. Caste, grief, denied love, and a society that handed him the role of a protector without ever once asking if he was okay. It's about a man who received no help, until it was too late for help to matter. And that's why in this revisit, money did not feel like a cautionary tale, but a mirror to me. The film ends with the train leaving the station. We don't know if money is on it. We don't know if he ever finds his way back to Sarojini, to his daughter, to the life he dreamt from the prison cell like it was already real. When every detail carries meaning layered beneath its surface, cinema stops being a story you watch and becomes something you carry. Bhoothakkannadi is a proof of that.